Hello and welcome to another episode of Matt's Corner. Today is Tuesday, May 26th. Folks, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm tired. It's been a long day, long week, long month, long year. Life is long, but not long enough, darn it. So, I'm watching the Red Sox right now, and of course they're losing. Have they won a game this season? I think they won opening day, and that's all, folks. This is crazy. Pitiful. Comical, like darkly comical, like how Doctor Strangelove is funny. Yeah, that's kind of like the Red Sox season. Also, speaking of things I watched on TV tonight, sometimes during Jeopardy, my mother and I text back and forth, and when they do Final Jeopardy, they reveal the category of Final Jeopardy, then they go to commercial, and then they come back and they ask the clue. Well, we like to guess what the clue is gonna be, just based on the category. So tonight's category was famous lines in literature. And my mother said, please, sir, I want some more, from Oliver Twist. And I said, my guess, random, only thing I could think of, and also Dickens, funny enough, was it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Random guess, apropos of nothing. Come back from commercial, Ken Jennings reveals the clue, and it's something like, this 18 such and such, the year it came out, 18 such and, I don't know what it was, 1863, novel began with a sentence that starts with the word it and ends with a sentence that begins with the word it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's it. It's the best of times, worst of times, which is the first line from Tale of Two Cities. So, I mean, I may or may not be psychic. This may or may not be a simulation. This has happened to me before, at least once. A couple years ago, the final category was famous directors. And again, just out of nowhere, I said, Billy Wilder. And I forget what the clue was, but the correct response was indeed Billy Wilder. So that's fun. They should make Jeopardy for psychics. That'd be good. I would watch that. What else is going on? America? World? Galaxy? Whoever's listening, we don't discriminate. This is so fun! Oh my gosh! Okay, story time, gather the children around. When I was in high school, I was either a freshman or a junior, and I was reading a lot of Rolling Stone magazine. They had great articles, and they actually had reviews in the back, like tons of album reviews. And they don't do that so much anymore. I'm sure they do online, but I used to just devour that. And anything that said punk or, power pop or alluded to something alternative or something that sounded even remotely like the Ramones, I would go to Newbury Comics and I would buy it on a whim. Because this was really before, Napster was around, but I don't think Apple Music, back when it was called iTunes Store, I don't think that was a huge thing yet, if it was a thing at all. Anyway, so yeah, you had to take a lot of gambles, a lot of risks, blind purchases, and I would base a lot of them off of the reviews I read at the back pages of Rolling Stone magazine. So anyway, back then in 2003, an issue cost $3.95, and I picked one up and I'm reading it, and there was a postcard in it. All magazines pretty much have this. They stuff a couple postcards, and it's, if you want to subscribe, you just mail in the postcard, and yeah, it's as simple as that. You pay them, you send a check or whatever. Well, they were having a promotion, and it was for $100. You can get a lifetime subscription to Rolling Stone magazine. So now the cover price is about $4. They came out, I think, bi-weekly, so twice a month, so 24 issues a year. And that's like a year's worth of magazines pretty much that you're paying for, right? But instead of that, it's a lifetime. So of course I talked about it with my father, and we said, yeah, this is a great idea, let's do it. So I'm sure he gave me the money, very generous. Not that I didn't have it, I totally had it. I was quite miserly. But regardless, I went for the deal and started getting my subscriptions, and it was great. And no matter where I lived, be it still in high school at my parents' house, my dad's house, they were sent to my Boston apartment. I don't know if I ever got them sent to my LA address, but I definitely had them shipped to New York when I lived there. And then I changed the address again when I moved back to Massachusetts in late 2020. So it's been well over 20 years now, and I was still getting them regularly, and I saved pretty much all of them. You know me. I'm like the Collier brothers rolled into one. There's a reference for you folks. And a couple years ago, I got a notification from Rolling Stone magazine. It was an email, and it said, you will no longer be receiving print editions in the mail. You still have a lifetime subscription to the website, so you can read all the articles online, but you're just not going to get a tangible thing in the mail anymore. And I'm like, well, that stinks, because I don't need to spend any more time online than I already do, so probably not going to do that. And it's a bummer, because I liked actually like holding it and looking at the cover and, collecting them. So whatever, not a huge loss. I got so much mileage out of it. And I kind of put it out of my mind. If I saw a Rolling Stone in the store, I'd pick it up if the cover was cool. And the last one I got is right here. Let's see, folks. Let's see. I bought this at, it must have been Barnes & Noble or something, because you can't really even find them at the grocery stores or CVS anymore. This is from September of last year, so a few months ago. The cover's got Steve Lacy, who I'm a fan of, David Byrne from the Talking Heads. It's got obituary articles for Sly Stone, Ozzy Osbourne, and Brian Wilson. Brian's like the main reason I got this particular magazine. But yeah, so just a bunch of stuff. It was and there's a whole thing about extreme weather and like tornadoes, which I've been obsessed with since third grade, ever since that movie Twister came out. I think of myself as a surrogate storm chaser, or not surrogate, or just not surrogate, just a storm chaser that doesn't actually chase storms, just watches them on TV. So this magazine now is $12.99. Isn't that crazy? It almost tripled it more than tripled since 2003. And I mean, I get why, because print media is dying, if not dead already, which is very sad. But, I get it. So, whatever. I forget about Rolling Stone. Today, I get home and I check my mail. And there's a little bit of a postcard size thing in there, and it's a notice. And I'm getting it right now so I can read it to you. And it's from Rolling Stone magazine. What, dude? It says, notice of proposed class action settlement. What? A federal court authorized this notice. Dude. You have been identified as a lifetime subscriber to Rolling Stone magazine living in the United States who may be eligible to benefits under a class action settlement. Holy moly. You flip it over and it's got even more info. So apparently this guy, this lawsuit alleges the Penske Media Corporation and its subsidiaries and affiliates breached contracts for lifetime subscriptions of Rolling Stone, who violated the California Assumers Legal Remedies Act, blah, 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 by ceasing to deliver print editions of the magazine to subscribers who purchased lifetime subscriptions. Some guy took them to court over this, and the settlement is basically they're going to start sending me print magazines again. What the heck? So I'm thrilled about that. Again, I cannot believe the mileage I got over. I'm still going to be getting from that offer. That $100. They must really be, even before the lawsuit, they must have been kicking themselves over that. I mean, just the money they're losing, and then, I mean, I'm sure they never thought that the print editions would be going away. And I do feel kind of bad because they're already losing. I mean, there's a reason the magazine's $13 now. And now they're just basically going to be printing them for free. Giving them away for free, I should say, to guys like me. But hey, what are you going to do, folks? I'm going to reap the benefits. And that is that. So before you guys make some crazy deal, $100 for a lifetime anything, you think twice, and you better make that fine print very clear. Otherwise, you're going to end up in court. Yeah. So that's wicked cool, guys. What else? Oh, I went for a walk, and I really don't do caffeine well, but I was craving a coffee, just a little something, and I popped into Starbucks, and I just got I asked for a small iced black coffee. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Great rule in life, in art, in coffee, in life. And they said, well, we can't do decaf regular coffee. You know what I mean. But we can do a decaf Americano iced. That was the whole thing. I wanted it iced, and they didn't have it. So I was like, okay, I don't know what an Americano is. I get it. I drink it. It's fine. It's good. It just tastes like coffee. I don't know what coffee is when it's good or when it's fancy. Like, I have had coffee that's been just sitting in the pot in the break room for a couple hours. And yeah, it's not great. But other than that, all coffee to me just tastes the same. I am not a connoisseur. It's the same thing with wine. Like, I've had a really crappy glass of wine at Olive Garden before. But other than that, I mean, I can't really tell the difference between a $8 bottle of Yellowtail and the finest Cabernet from the vineyards of Rome. Although I shouldn't say that, because I did go to Rome when I was 20, and every restaurant we went out every night, different place, and they all have their own wine. It's incredible. And that wine was really good. Although, you know, I was 20. It's not like I was a big wine drinker to begin with, so I didn't have anything to compare it to. So I don't know. I'm an idiot. My palate stinks, folks. So good wine, bad wine, whatever. It's all the same to me. Yeah. That was a fun trip. Of course, you had to drink the wine. When in Rome. I think that's actually what they're talking about, right? When in Rome, you drink the wine. Yesterday was Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. I do have a question about Memorial Day. So please write in, call in, text me, fax me, carrier pigeon me. Do what you got to do. Memorial Day. So it's my understanding that it is a day of remembrance for those who gave their lives in the line of fire, Call of Duty, serving the country, right? Now, what if, let's say it's World War II, and a guy goes over there, and he never sees combat. Let's say he's stationed in London or something. And he's a misfit. He's gallivanting. He's living a life of decadence. And, you know, he's driving everybody crazy, and he's going out to the pubs every night and getting wasted. Now, he's technically a serviceman, but then he's walking home one night, hammered, 4 a.m, stumbling back to his barracks or whatever, and he falls down a manhole and dies. Do they have manholes in London? Manholes? That's a good question. Anyway, for the sake of this argument, let's say they do. Now, that's how he dies. Now, he's in uniform and everything, but he's hammered. He's not doing anything to actually serve the country except sign up. Does that guy get a flag on Memorial Day? Eh? I bet he does. I bet he does. And you know what, folks? If it was World War II, that guy would have been me. Yeah. So thanks for the flag. I was also thinking about a great film series, The Vacation, the Chevy Chase movies. Well, first I was thinking about what are his best movies, like top 3, top 5. You got to go The First Vacation. You got to go Christmas Vacation. I personally love Spies Like Us. And I know a lot of people would say Fletch, but I might take Foul Play and Seems Like Old Times over Fletch, personally. But I'm a huge fan of almost all of his movies. And I was thinking about in Vegas Vacation, if you haven't seen the movie, this is a minor spoiler alert. So jump ahead like 15 seconds if you haven't seen it. At the end of the movie, they're in the casino, they're broke, and they're playing Keno, and they sit next to an old man, and the old man wins. And it's Sid Caesar. Sid Caesar, legend, comedy legend, television hero, icon. Your Show of Shows was the name of his show back in the 50s. And a gazillion people wrote for that show. Mel Brooks, I think Carl Reiner, Neil Simon, Woody Allen, just like a who's who of 20th century writers, comic writers. And so, yeah, Sid Caesar. Also, Sid Caesar, fun fact, he hosted SNL in the 80s. And by then he was older, his 60s or 70s. And because he was so revered, and SNL is a sketch comedy show very much influenced by Your Show of Shows. God, how many times can I say show? They made him, Sid Caesar, an honorary cast member of SNL. And they did it like at the end of the night when he was saying the good nights. And it was very special, very sweet, very emotional. And nobody ever has had that honor aside from him, which is pretty cool. And it stinks because you can't really find Your Show of Shows anywhere. I've looked, I've seen some clips, but I don't know. It's like the early Johnny Carsons. I don't even know if there's if they saved video of it, the videotape. Regardless, Sid Caesar shows up at the end of Vegas Vacation, and then it occurred to me not only how sweet that is that they included him in this great comedy series, the first movie, who plays Aunt Edna? Imogene Coca, who was the female lead of Your Show of Shows. They were like a duo. And I can't believe I never thought of that. I've been watching these movies for 30 years, and I never put that all together. But that's very, very sweet, isn't it? Also, the end of The First Vacation, when they go to Wally World. Wally World! Mr. Wally, Roy Wally. The actor's name is Eddie Bracken. He's an old-time comedy guy, too. And John Hughes loved him. He also put him in Home Alone 2 as Mr. Duncan, the owner of the Duncan toy store. Same guy. Roy Wally, Mr. Duncan. See, folks, this is the stuff that makes me the most interesting man alive. Move over, Dokes Eckies guy. Where is he? Is he alive? Oh my gosh. That'd be so sad. This is crazy. I just looked up at the Red Sox. It's the bottom of the ninth. Atlanta's up 7-6. There's only one out. Sox have a guy on first and second. They could walk off. They had an opportunity last night or 2 nights ago against Minnesota, I think it was. Very similar situation. And they blew it. You know what I mean? They dropped the ball. Oh boy, the Fenway faithful, they are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're shirtless. They're not hairless, believe me. They're very hairy, but they are shirtless. This group of guys jumping up and down. My goodness. Can't believe they show that on television. These children must be scarred for life. Ah, look at that little grounder to shortstop, toss to third, and he's out. And now there's 2 down. Last batter. Still got a man on second here. Oh boy. Oh Bronson Arroyo. Remember him? He went to the Reds. He had a whole second career with Cincinnati. I think he was like a rock star too. Pretty sure he put out some albums. Speaking of Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, remember Coco Crisp? That was an actual guy on the Red Sox too. Great name, Coco Crisp. There's a lot of fun names in baseball, you know? There's a pitcher, and his last name is Ball 4. I kid you not. Terrible name for a pitcher. But I think he was good. Sorry, I'm just like I can't take my eyes off this game right now. There's a lot of nutty stuff going on. The New York Knicks, after sweeping the 76ers, they just swept the Cavs. Oh, yep. Little grounder right to the pitcher. And they blew it again. Game's over. Final score 7-6. We have not won since like Reagan was president. I'm telling you, this is a debacle. But yeah, the Knicks, they are going to play either the Thunder or the Spurs. And I used to like the Thunder back when I lived in LA, which was like 2012 to 2014. If I wasn't rooting for the Celtics, I was rooting for the Thunder. That's when LeBron was in Miami, though. They were pretty tough to beat. Tough to beat the Heat. That was a big thing, you know? Beat the Heat! Couldn't do it! Couldn't freaking do it! But I like the Spurs. I think they might have won a championship during that time. They had Tim Duncan, Coach Pop. Great organization. Underrated. Still, they've won 1 million rings, and I feel like there's still no one really hypes them up. They just stay under the radar. There's usually not much drama. They are a very respectable organization. They play the game like it should be played. With respect. All right, so here it is. I just put that game on. It's almost halftime. OKC's up. What game is this in the series? Oh, series is tied 2-2. All right, so this isn't a do or die. So we don't know. We don't know who the Knicks are going to play in the finals. But I'll keep you posted, folks. If you want to know, you just text me. And when I know, I'll let you know. Okay? I guess that's about all I have today. My goodness, it better be. I'm running long here. I try to keep it like 20 minutes or so. Well, under a half hour I think is okay. Sitcom length. If you can watch a sitcom, you can listen to me, damn it. I watched a movie also called The Trip to Spain. And this is a series. It's a BBC series. It's actually a show in the UK, but they turn it into feature film length for the States. And the first one's just called The Trip. Then there's The Trip to... The Trip to Italy, I think. And then this was the trip to Spain, and there's a fourth one called the trip to Greece. And I just learned that there's going to be a fifth one called the trip to the Northern Lights, and it's Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, and it's hilarious. It is so. I mean, it's definitely not for everybody, but it is ridiculously up my alley. Basically, the whole movie is just the two of them going to really fancy dinners and doing competing impressions. Like Michael Caine, they do. Roger Moore is a big one that comes up, and they go on these tangents, doing these voices for far too long, and I can't get enough of it. It's great, and it's just they kind of intersplice it with shots of them actually preparing the food, like chefs cooking in the kitchen, and the gorgeous countryside. So it's a poor excuse for a travel show, but I mean it's really just an excuse to have them goof off, and I highly recommend it if you're into that stuff. Um, yeah, and they sing old songs. Everything's like a competition between them. It's great, and I'm excited for the new one. And oh, I just watched the documentary called "What Happened, Brittany Murphy." Oh my goodness, it is so sad and mysterious. Her death, uh, definitely shocking and tragic, and really not a lot of answers to what happened to her. Yeah, was there foul play? Was it this? Was it that? I don't know, folks, but terribly sad. I can't believe she passed away in 2009, 17 years ago. My goodness, she was 32, so she'd be almost 50. Jeez. But yeah, she was great. Uh, and with that uplifting note, have a wonderful week. And, I hope you're keeping up with your laundry. Ooh, I do have clothes in the dryer. Thank you for reminding me. Because they'd be in there, and if they're not dry, if they're still wet, and they'd be sitting there overnight, then they would get smelly, and maybe moss would grow on them, and we'd get like, I don't know, what happens to wet laundry? Mushrooms come out of there, and it's just swamp creatures. I don't want to find out, so I'm going to take care of that now. But you take care of yourself, okay, world? Thank you, and good night. How are you?